I want to think about peak performance now. We talked about cortisol. I'm super curious about mitochondria as the energy factories of our body. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that it is having a renaissance, and thank goodness. Because I think a lot of people, again, performance-minded people are like, wow, man, I know it's the myokines, lifting weights, doing interval training, whatever the things. All those things are awesome.
Yeah.
But for me, what my greatest fascination is how mental health in its relationship to mitochondria. We know that metabolic activity and optimizing our metabolic activity is a huge part of our mental well-being. It's how we optimize our serotonin levels, how we really get good, clean dopamine, motivating, giving us confidence. So the more that we are metabolically aligned, because our mitochondria is well fed, you're going to have the amazing foundation of a mental and emotional state that allows you to do amazing things in the physical state.
What can we do to optimize our mitochondria? What are some practices that we can use to get our mitochondria healthy? They are the energy factories of our body. They take the foods that we eat, break it down to create energy. They're super important they're involved in cancer, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, depression. So given that they power our lives and they are implicated and involved in regulators to some degree of our health, plus autophagy is modulated by mitochondria, how can we optimize them?
Well, it's funny. So Greg and I are at this experience here doing a lot about human performance and potential. And there's avocados for breakfast. Right. And I know why there is, because you and I are like, Stu, we got to have a lot of fat on the buffet or we can't perform. So you mentioned food, Greg. Let's out of the gate talk about healthy fats and things that are the monounsaturated, the polyunsaturated, the essential fats. Start your day under the influence of wicked good fats because your mitochondria is going to go, I'm good to go.
Right.
When we lean into refined carbohydrates or too much caffeine or we're mainlining highly processed, our mitochondria is going to starve before it gets a chance to engage. And so it's so important that we use food as the foundation only after we woke up and really found ourselves going, man, my autophagy, my mitophagy is engaged because I had a good night's rest and I woke up under the influence of all the ways in which I was able to discard which was no longer good energy and bringing in a highly charged new energy. Mitochondria is a wonderful way of recycling or discarding when it no longer is useful. But your responsibility is make sure you're feeding it healthy fats, lean proteins, utilizing resistance training, and really, really understanding muscle is also associated with hope. We know that there's research that says when we're lifting weights and doing hard things physically, our body's releasing myokines. And myokines very much mimic how hope chemistry is happening mentally and emotionally. So you're getting like all these force multipliers going on, and the whole time your mitochondria is going, man, I'm a badass today. I am in a different place, and I'm here for it.
There are these molecules in our body called reactive oxygen species. They are produced when we're stressed. And I know they have an impact on mitochondrial function. They interact with the membranes, damage them. How can we heal, repair, recover, and regenerate from stress, given that stress produces reactive oxygen species and they damage our mitochondria? How do we heal from that?
Well, I think that you dropped a couple of big pearls there, reactive oxygen species, and how we look at antioxidants as a great way to help us recover and heal. So I always start with food, dark green leafies, blueberries. The more color, the better, because the deeper pigment in the food, the greater the opportunity for antioxidants to come and help those mitochondria heal. And I think alongside of this, I'm a supplement taker, I'm a supplement believer, as long as the evidence is there. So I look at things like acetyl L-carnitine, amazing for mitochondria. I like to say, how do you resuscitate your mitochondria?
Cool.
Acetyl L-carnitine's 1,500 milligrams is a really good place to begin. And people go, wow, that's a lot. But you know what? This is a high performance community that you're speaking to. Don't look at the ridiculous RDA. The ones that says this is just covering your bases, which I think is 250. Think about what it is you're asking your mitochondria to do, and don't be afraid to go to 1 gram, 1,500 milligrams. Alongside of that, coenzyme Q10, alpha lipoic acid. And I look at those two between CoQ10, 100 to 200 milligrams. I love to combine it with PQQ, a supplement that a lot of biohacking community is going, oh my gosh. PQQ is a way in which it not only helps to resuscitate the mitochondria, it actually helps to bring it greater intelligence. And I think this intelligence is how it is that once you've got a good protocol under your belt, your mitochondria goes, oh, this is a different game I'm playing. I'm playing a different game. Yeah. And what I really believe, and Greg, I really want to lean into your research on this, the mitochondria is very trainable.
Yes.
It wants to be better if you want to be better. And if you trust it, and you feed it, and you believe in it, you are instructing it to go for other levels of almost rare air experiences of energy and performance.
Talked about mitophagy and I say autophagy, but autophagy, mitophagy. I'm curious about that. Sorry, I'm tongue twisting.
No, you're not. And I think what I'm doing is the same thing, like my mitophagy.
Yeah.
Well, my mitophagy or autophagy is basically the way that, listen, high performers, we get a lot of debris in our body.
Right.
A lot of debris. Just from working hard and being at your best and giving everything you have to your life. With that, there's gonna be byproduct, waste. And our opportunity to look and see that waste effectively, physiologically, and then remove it.
Yeah.
And what we know, exercise helps to do that. But we're not kicking ass every single day, day after day after day after day. Look at the way that you can really utilize different types of exercise to really kind of re-instruct how your muscles are being used, which also augments autophagy. Look at sleep, look at cold water. And please help me, I believe there's really good data that speaks to cold water and these cold shock proteins. Yeah. And how they actually help with autophagy. And then we also have sauna, which is also going to be the heat shock proteins. That interval experience, that contrast, hot and cold, is amazing for mitophagy. And anytime that we're giving ourselves contrast like that, it really helps to move the debris. It's like the garbage truck comes in and goes, I got this, I'm scooping up this, moves out of the way. So the efficiency of your mitochondria coming back to life or bringing new mitochondria in is assured, and there's space for it to do its work.
I feel like the theme of this conversation is about contrast, like high performance, deep rest, hot, cold. Like it's really, really curious how.
And we didn't even start that way, but how interesting is that?
Yeah.
And it's hard for us to rest. It's hard for us to think there's not always something else we could be doing, and the first thing we think about is doing nothing.
Right.